Introducing the Open Palm Podcast with host Jerome Shaw, available today on your favorite podcast platforms. The Open Palm Podcast is a positive, uplifting, motivational, and inspirational podcast. The host brings his insight and philosophy, and you can't help but gravitate towards his smile, his words, and his wisdom. Again, the podcast he hosts is titled The Open Palm Podcast. It's about inspirational messages, motivating themes, and thought-provoking ideas and topics. He'll also help you become more aware and in harmony with your own life, giving you a better understanding of your place in the world and using your skills accordingly, greeting the world with an open palm instead of a closed fist. You can find the show today on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. You can also connect with the host on Instagram at Jerome Shaw. That's JROMESHAW on Instagram. Jerome Shaw with the Open Palm Podcast. Motivation, meditation, mentality. Go listen, download, and subscribe today.
Two monks were washing their bowls in the river when they noticed a scorpion that was drowning. One monk immediately scooped it up and set it upon the bank. In the process, he was stung. He went back to washing his bowl, and again the scorpion fell in. The monk saved the scorpion, and again he was stung. The other monk asked him, "Friend, why do you continue to save the scorpion when you know its nature is to sting?" "Because," the monk replied, "to save it is my nature." What do you gather from this story of the two monks washing their bowls? The one monk picking up the scorpion even though he knows he is going to be stung. Even though he knows that is in the scorpion's nature, he saves the scorpion from drowning because that is his nature. Having compassion, respect for all life. There was one time at a meditation center in Lake Elsinore, California, I remember seeing my friend Ellie holding a bee. There was in fact a yellow jacket that was buzzing around her, and it rested on her hand. And instead of having a jerk reaction, having a reaction of fear or flight, she stood there, neutral Jing. She did nothing and simply contemplated this bee and just watched it crawling across her hand. Never before had I seen such peace, such wonder, such patience, such meditation. It was as if she was meditating right in front of me, using this bee as her meditation. Such compassion for a life or a life form. I asked her, after about 3 minutes, when the bee silently fluttered away, "What made you watch the bee like that? Other people, all my other friends would have ran away or tried to swat at the bee in fear." She smiled and simply told me that it is perhaps because many people don't really know much about bees. This lesson hit me hard because we do in fact fear the unknown. But also, there are things that are within our nature. Would I run from a bee or be scared because it is in my nature to do so? Just as it was in my friend's nature to be silent and watch the bee, allowing the bee to do as it wished and fly away. Even if it is in the bee's nature to sting, does it mean that we will be stung for sure? Is it our fear of what might happen in the future that prevents us from doing something so simple as nothing in the face of possible fear or possible pain? The monk in the story who saved the scorpion's life again and again from drowning, though he knew that he was likely to be stung, is worth contemplating, worth thinking over. Are there things that you do in your life because it is simply in your nature? Are there things that other people do that are simply in their nature? Why do we take these things personally? Why do we allow the things that other people do to us, perhaps the pain that we endure, the pain that other people give us when other people sting us? Why do we let it get us down or prevent us from being more kind and more compassionate? Couldn't we look at these things as things that are in people's nature? It is the way it is. But one might say that to live a life of Zen, we must have indefinite respect to all that has passed, service to all that is present, responsibility to the future. The monk was living the life of Zen. Reason can sometimes be a roadblock or a wall to living the way. Did the monk need a reason to save the scorpion's life? Do any of us need a reason to do what is right when we know that we can do something? Just as there have been times where I have swatted at wasps or tried to kill flies or bugs that have entered a house that I was in or a car that I was in, there have been many times in the later years that I've gone out of my way to save them. To find a container to put a wasp in while I released it outside. Can nature change? Perhaps that is a question for another day. Thank you for listening, my friend. This has been Jerome Shaw on TOP, the Open Palm Podcast here in San Antonio, Texas. I pray you received an encouraging message letting you know that sometimes certain things are in our nature. There is a nature of things, but we should never allow things to deter us from doing what is right, simply because that is in their nature. Lastly, there is another version of this story that describes a fox who agrees to carry a scorpion on its back across a river upon the condition that the scorpion does not sting him. But the scorpion does indeed sting the fox when they are in the midstream. As the fox begins to drown, taking the scorpion with him, he pleadingly asks why the scorpion has jeopardized both of them by stinging. Because it's my nature. Pay this episode forward so more can hear the message. And if it is in your heart to support, consider opening your browser to anchor.fm/jshaw to click that supporting link there. Much love, much appreciation, and big shout out to all the wonderful supporters who continue to donate, making it possible for episodes like this. Have a wonderful and blessed day or night, wherever you are, and take care, my friend. Hey there, my friend. So, you've heard about Anchor, but do you know why it's the easiest way to make a podcast? Well, first off, it's free. It allows you to use creation tools that let you record your podcast right from your phone or computer. It also distributes your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more platforms. You can even make money from your podcast with minimum listenership. It's everything you need in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. Can't wait to hear yours. Let's see what you have to offer the world.